Nicotine salts versus Freebase nicotine. And I want to mention that I don't have a background in chemistry, but I love to do research, which is what I've done here. So I'm going to do my best to provide accurate information. But if I've gotten anything wrong here, please let me know and I'll try to make corrections where I can. Okay, so a product that a lot of DIYers have been talking about lately are nicotine salts. These are basically a crystallized version of nicotine that come dissolved in VG and PG solutions. So first let's talk Freebase nicotine. Normally what DIYers and e-juice manufacturers use is a free compound version of nicotine, or a freebase. Freebase sounds bad because it's often associated with freebase cocaine, but freebase only means that it's in its purest form. Nicotine itself is a base and is not very potent in the body until the protons are removed. Nicotine absorbs protons, which results in the nicotine molecules becoming ions. Ions don't move across organic membranes very well, so they're less likely to affect the body. For nicotine to become potent, it needs to be deprotonated or converted into a freebase form. Freebase nicotine is the form that tobacco companies use and what most e-juice companies use. In order to deprotonate nicotine, companies add another base, ammonia, which is negatively charged and strips away protons. Liquid ammonia also separates the nicotine from the salts, which allows it to be extracted with steam. This process turns nicotine into a freebase and allows it to become more bioavailable to the lungs, brain, and central nervous system. Researchers have found that freebase nicotine is the most optimal version of nicotine. It allows it to bind to the nicotine receptors in the brain and the rest of the body, which is believed to make it more addictive since it will be more concentrated at the receptors. All right, now let's talk nicotine salts. So nicotine salts occur naturally in tobacco. Nicotine salt is a much more stable compound than freebase, but less volatile. Salts require more heat to volatilize to allow it to be inhaled, which is considered to be a less efficient delivery system. Nicotine salts have also been reported to have much smoother throat hit when compared to freebase nicotine, which allows users to use higher levels of nicotine more comfortably. And a good example of this in action is with the e-juice formulated by Juul, J-U-U-L. So Juul uses nicotine salts derived from the tobacco leaf, and because nicotine salts aren't absorbed by the body as well as freebase nicotine, Juul adds benzoic acid to their formula, and this helps to degrade the nicotine during the heating process. This makes it better absorbed by the body, but still retains that smooth throat hit. Their e-juice nicotine strength is 59 milligrams per milliliter, but due to the lower wattage of their devices and the smoother throat hit of the salts, the throat hit won't feel anything like 59 milligrams nicotine, but the user will still get a very strong nicotine buzz and quickly. Juul claims that their formula results in similar satisfaction someone would get from a cigarette, and they've even produced a chart showing how their formula results in a very similar blood nicotine level per time after first puff as tobacco cigarettes do. The big question here though is if all nicotine salt liquids that we can buy will work the same as Juul's formula with benzoic acid. Juul owns the patent on this formula, which might make it difficult for anyone to reproduce. But some companies are now producing nicotine salt liquids. NudeNicotine.com, for example, has 3 formulas of liquid nicotine made with salts. It's hard to say if their formulas will work as well as Juul's, but they might. So should you use nicotine salts? Well, Dimitris of Smoke Free Radio was recently on a live show on YouTube where he was asked his opinion on nicotine salts, and he said that he has absolutely no interest in using it at all because he doesn't want to be a guinea pig, and also he feels totally comfortable using a typical liquid nicotine. So why change? Well, from what I've seen in the research, there doesn't seem to be any reason to believe that nicotine salts are any more or less safe than freebase nicotine. The only major difference that you might notice is that it will react more quickly or slowly depending on the formula. And I personally wasn't at all interested in trying nicotine salts either, but after doing this research, I would actually like to pick some up and eventually play around with it.